Thanks for spending some time with us. You can be a part of the show anytime. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com.
You can write a letter.
You could write a letter if you'd like. And that wonderful voice that you just heard. And also, you probably see her on the live stream on our Facebook page and our YouTube and on X.com. That is the lovely Jocelyn, the love of my life. It's X.com. Yeah.
I will never call it X.com.
I still, when I'm scrolling through or flipping through all the apps and things on my phone, I'm like, what the heck is that? I didn't download that app. What is X? And if you look at it, it's got this weird, like it's cracked. It's kind of like a weird, it looks like broken glass.
Because he's losing it?
Probably. Elon Musk totally losing it. He thought, oh, I'm going to change the name.
I have an X. I have an X account. I have not used it in years. I don't even have the app on my phone. So
yeah, I'll show it to you later. It just makes no sense the way it's. When I saw it on my phone and I saw that they had changed the name or changed the label, I was confused and thought my phone was scratched. I thought I had dropped my phone and I scratched it, and then there's this brand new app on my phone that I have no idea what it is.
That's weird. Well, he's weird, so.
Last week or so, we were talking about this on the show. I wanted to get your firsthand perspective and opinion on this. We were talking about how, well, the one thing we talked about is just overall pests and how seems to be a lot more spiders hanging out in our backyard.
We have a ton of spiders, big, giant, fat ones.
More cobwebs and spider webs that what's the difference between a cobweb and a spider web? Is there a difference?
I don't know if scientifically there is.
Okay. We'll just say
guess I'll have to look that up right now.
Spider webs have been all over our backyard and some really gnarly spiders.
Yeah, huge fat ones.
That we've been seeing. But another thing that we've noticed just the other day, I looked in the corner because where my office is it's one of our bedrooms in this house, but I've converted it to the office / studio.
Yes, he has an entire room to himself.
Yeah, and so I can see into the bedroom as well. There's a little cool little door that goes from one bedroom to the next, and I thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye, and I thought, well, that couldn't be a mouse. I haven't seen a mouse in months.
It's mouse season.
It is.
It is mouse season. It baffles me that you saw something, though, because you have terrible vision. So for you to see the little tiny shadow blows my mind.
I do have bad vision, and so that's why I kind of just thought, okay, I'll just blame it on my bad vision. That's just some random thing that's not a mouse. It's not a mouse.
With 4 legs and a tail.
And then I didn't tell you about that. I didn't tell you that I saw this mouse.
No, you did not.
And I was gone. Where was I?
It's probably the next day. You were at the station.
Yep. And then you said,
I said, guess what? We have a mouse.
So yeah, we did have a mouse, but we were talking about how there's the different types of traps. And there's the classic, of course, classic snap trap. But you found that, well, you didn't want to kill the mouse, and then it shouldn't die just because it's being a mouse. It's what its reason for existence to go inside somewhere warm when it gets cold. Right.
And I'm just like, die. No.
You ended up finding. I thought it was a really cool contraption. It's a mouse trap, but it's kind of set up like a
seesaw.
Like a seesaw. Yeah. The bait that you have, whatever it is, peanut butter seems to be the best thing to attract the mouse.
Kirkland peanut butter.
Yeah, Kirkland. Yeah, Costco peanut butter. If you go into this teeter totter thing, it then goes all the way to the back, and then it tips. And then the door closes behind it. Trap door. But what happens is then that mouse is then trapped in this.
So it's a no-kill trap. So then you have like this rectangle of anger.
Yeah.
That just clicks and knocks all night if it happens at night.
Yeah, if it happens in the morning or happens at night or whenever it happens and you then find it, that mouse has been stuck in there for however long.
They're very angry.
Yeah. And you have to then.
But my gentle Johnny then releases it into a 5-gallon bucket and drives it a few miles away from our house and releases it into the wild. Though I did read that field mice are not house mice, so it probably doesn't survive. But at least I didn't like snap its neck or anything.
And how far am I supposed to drive it away? Because I've actually gone like 4 or 5 miles.
I think it's more than 2. But did somebody do this scientific research? Did somebody tag a mouse and then release it 1 mile and then tag a mouse and release it 2 miles?
You make a good point.
Is that something we have to do this winter?
Well, I thought about it and remembered back when we lived, I'm trying to remember, like Sister Lakes area, and we had.
Yes, you talked about it last week with Ken, the candy basket mouse.
Yeah,
yes.
we had the candy basket mouse that would escape. We took it out, or we caught it, took it outside.
Well, it was just jumping in through the dryer vent hole. And before you made it back inside, the mouse was back inside.
And then it just went back to what it was doing. We caught it eating our candy, my candy. And
Halloween candy.
The Halloween candy. And then we caught it, or we just kind of basically took the bowl outside, I think, and then dumped it. And then that mouse came right back in and was snacking on that stuff within a couple of minutes.
His name was Randall.
That's the other thing. That's the hard part. And that's why I think a reason why you want to do this no-kill trap is because you have the habit of naming just about every animal that makes its
I'm
way.
A Pisces. Gosh.
It makes its way into either our backyard or into our house. You name almost every single creature.
I don't name like spiders or.
Have you named the praying mantises?
No, there's too many. And they look like you can't trust them. So I'm not sure. Those shifty side eyes, like I'm not.
So just give it a non-trustworthy name.
Like.
I don't know. I can't think of one right now. Randall does seem like a trustworthy name. Yeah. So I think you'd have to pick something else.
Well, I already used the name Randall. So and that's the other thing. I do not use the same name twice. Ever. Over the how many? 18 years we've been together.
Right. So basically we have this one humane tube trap.
Yep.
But then, and we did catch one. Just the other day, we caught it, and I did release it a few miles down the road. But then we weren't sure if that was it, and that was because we have an old house, and anybody that has an old house, you're gonna have mice. It's inevitable. No matter what you do to try and seal up your house, you're not gonna catch all of the mice.
According
you're not
to
gonna keep them all out.
The old woman that lives behind us, this was like part of like the original Niles boardwalk.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how that works. She said that all 4 houses were connected at one point, like the boardwalk. I don't know.
Yeah. Because they said when we bought the house was built in the 50s.
That is a lie.
That definitely a lie, because we found in our basement alone, like the boards and things,
hand hewn planks.
And
square nails
and real 2x4s. So I don't know any builders out there. Well, actually, I do know some builders. So if you happen to be a builder that has been around for a while, please tell me when they stopped making the actual 2x4s, because a real 2x4 now is like 1 3/4
right
by 3 3/4 or whatever.
Right.
So you can fit the drywall, and then that makes it 2x4. But
also, we don't have drywall.
Yeah, we don't have drywall either. The plaster and lath, which is cool, but it really makes it susceptible to have mice.
Lots of holes, lots of mice.
So we have that, and then we have the humane traps, but then we decided to go with the classic snap trap, and did catch another one
in the basement. So I didn't have to see its face first.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a chance to name it or become emotionally attached to this mouse.
I saw its face.
Don't.
He wasn't happy.
Jonathan.
But tis the season. You got
Yeah.
the spiders, you got the mice.
Oh, spiders. Spider web refers to a web that is apparently still in use,
Okay.
like clean.
Okay.
Cobweb refers to a seemingly abandoned web, like dusty. So our backyard are spider webs, and in the basement are cobwebs.
Okay. That works.
Science.
Good to know. But that's perfect for you because this is that time of year, your favorite time of the year, as people can see. What does your shirt say?
The Big Book of Black Magic.
Black Magic. Yeah. Very nice. So you're excited about Halloween. When does Halloween decorations, when do those officially
September 1st.
September?
In our house. Yes.
You're a little late though, because you just started decorating this past weekend.
Okay, well, it was warm the first week in September. Like, remember Labor Day at the pool? It was miserably hot. So my brain wasn't in full fall mode yet. But now I'm ready.
Well, feel free to let us know, comment, and send us a message if you'd like. But you can comment right now if you'd like on this video. Tell us when you start decorating for fall. We'd love to know. We'll talk more about some of the other things that you need to know as you start your day, as we hang out with Jocelyn here for the next couple of days, as Ken is out of town.
Abandoned us.
He's abandoned us and left us to have more fun, I guess. I don't know.
Coffee.
More coffee. We're taking all of his coffee. He has like 4 shots of espresso in his coffee cup to start the day.
I was a barista, that's what I did.
So I'm about a 16 ounces of coffee kind of person, and I'm good to go.
But you like coffee. You don't need coffee.
Exactly. But feel free to be part of the show anytime you want. You can call 925 WSJM as well. More news as well as your Bloomberg Market Minute on the way next. You having fun?
Yeah.
Having a good time?
I'm a little sweaty over here.
Why are you sweaty?
Because of the lights.
Oh, yeah. It is a little hot.
It fogs up just this one lens.
All right. Well, we're going to go grab some coffee real quick. But news and your Bloomberg Market Minute's coming up as well for those of you that are watching on our live stream. So we'll be right back.
The Morning Show with Jonny and Ken on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Feel free to reach out anytime if you want to be part of the show. You can call 925-WSJM. You can email letstalk@WSJM.com. Should be a pretty decent day today. A little chilly. Definitely sweater weather. Today, partly cloudy, sunny later on, high 68. Later tonight, we're looking at cloudy skies with a low down to 47. And looking ahead to tomorrow, sunny and a small chance for some rain, high 70. We should get to somewhere in the 80s later this week. So we have that to look forward to. Also, more fun times with Jocelyn to look forward to here in just a moment. If you're watching on our live stream, she's actually going to grab coffee right now, but we'll get her back on here in just a moment. But feel free to reach out and be part of the show if you'd like. But we'll talk about that. Plus, we'll have your Moody on the Market update on the way. First, let's find out what's happening in the news this morning.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
In the WSJM Newsroom, I'm Dave Wolf. Indiana Michigan Power has submitted its latest Powering Our Future plan to the Michigan Public Service Commission, seeking rate increases to pay for a project that would improve service reliability. I&M spokesperson Tracy Warner tells us the company is asking for permission to raise rates by 9.67% or $34 million. He says this would pay for a lot of work.
For example, one of the things we're looking at is replacing over 850 aging poles, and these would be proactively replaced before they fail, and we would replace more than 90 miles of wire. The other thing we're looking to do is move about 45 miles of power lines from pretty hard-to-reach areas to get those along roadways, and then so that if there is an outage, we can get to those lines a lot faster.
Under the proposal, the bill for a typical residential customer who uses 1,000 kilowatts of electricity per month would go from $162.96 to $170.90 per month. Warner says if I&M receives federal grants it's seeking, then the rate increases for customers would be lower. Also in the plan is a request to begin a study on whether I&M should apply to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for a 20-year extension of the licenses for the reactors at the Cook Nuclear Power Plant. Warner says beginning that study is the first step towards extending the plant's life. The reactor licenses are scheduled to expire in 2034 and 2037. We have a link to I&M's full proposal at our website. The MPSC has 10 months to make a decision on I&M's proposal. With the United Auto Workers now on strike at 3 plants, State Representative Joey Andrews is calling for the Big Three to negotiate with the union. He tells us he stands in solidarity with the UAW.
I do think that their decision to do the strike in a targeted way is a good thing. I think it's a new approach, but they're letting more workers stay at work and not totally shutting down production. I think as a way of telling the automakers that they're serious and hopefully getting them to come to the bargaining table in good faith.
Andrews says with many U.S. corporations having record profits in recent years, the time is right for the UAW to demand a share.
I think the UAW is coming with a pretty reasonable ask here, and obviously there'll be negotiations that take place. There always are, and I'm sure the final deal won't necessarily look like the initial offer, but so far the automakers haven't even come close.
Andrews doesn't expect the strike to affect Southwest Michigan, at least at first. He tells us if it drags on or expands, then the region could be hurt. Andrews says the bottom line is that no one wants a strike. Congressman Bill Huizenga says he can empathize with the striking United Auto Workers. He tells us the UAW is looking at the auto industry feeling left behind and feeling concerned about where it's headed.
They see the changes that have been happening in our economy and in their industry, and I think they are rightfully concerned about where it may be going.
Huizenga says the push for electric vehicles is creating major problems for the auto industry.
We are not going to be transitioning to an EV society as fast as many of the advocates believe that we can or are hoping that we can. It's 6% of all the vehicles that are sold are EVs.
Huizenga adds both sides in the strike have a responsibility to keep talking in good faith so damage to the economy is minimized. An expansion of the public safety building is planned in Hager Township. Township Supervisor Izzy DiMaggio tells us they're going to add space for Medic One ambulance personnel so they can be stationed there all the time. That's after Hager Township, Watervliet Township, Coloma Township, and the cities of Watervliet and Coloma all got together and hired Medic One Ambulance to be their ambulance provider. DiMaggio says the agency keeps an ambulance crew in 2 locations.
Right now, they are responding to us, but they have an ambulance over in Watervliet, and they have one over in the city of Coloma. And the responses we've gotten in the 2 months there are exceptional. They're a lot better than our previous carrier, and so they will be even better response time for priority 1 and priority 2 calls once they are housed 365 days a year in our Riverside location.
DiMaggio says one of the stipulations Haggard Township laid out when working with the other municipalities to hire Medic 1 was that a crew always had to be on hand in the township. The Township Board has voted to hire Terra Architects, a Benton Harbor firm, for professional design services. Although the cost of the addition won't be known until the design is complete, DiMaggio expects it will be between $175,000 and $225,000. And as the November elections approach, a debate between candidates for Benton Harbor City Commission will be held this month. Berrien Forward's Chokwe Pitchford tells us the future of Benton Harbor debate will be at the Benton Harbor High School Auditorium on September 29th at 6 p.m. It will focus on the commissioner at large and mayoral races.
This is a night of interesting and thoughtful questions, banter, and, debating between candidates on who has the best vision for the future, and leave it up to the residents to decide who deserve those 4-year terms to represent them into the latter part of this decade.
Pitchford says Berrien Ford is teaming up with the Voters Not Politicians Education Fund for the event.
We truly believe that the core of what Berrien Forward is, it's about making sure that every single person is equipped and educated when they head to that ballot to make the most informed decision.
The debate will be moderated by President Pillar's director, James Gunter. Pitchford says he believes local races, like those for City Commission, are critical to determining the future of the community. He's working to arrange a streaming option for the event and calls on all residents to turn out or tune in. In the WSJM newsroom, I'm Dave Wolf.
The Michigan News.
Some pretty exciting stuff that's happening in the news this morning. I'm looking forward to that candidate forum. I know those are a really good way to, of course, get the word out and of these candidates to have that sort of conversation and talk about that stuff, but really good for the community to know about this stuff and to hear what these candidates stand for. You don't always get to see that in local elections, especially all the way down to the city and community commissions and county commissions as well. You don't always get to know what these people really, really feel and really think about certain issues. So to have a forum like that in Benton Harbor, I think is really important. So looking forward to that. You can get more details for that at WSJM.com. But we were talking a little earlier about the United Auto Workers strike. That's continuing. A meeting with Stellantis set for today at some point. The union says that talks have been productive, but a deal has not yet been reached. Now, the president has sent senior aide Gene Sperling and acting labor secretary Julie Sue to help facilitate an agreement in person. About 13,000 workers went on strike against the big 3 automakers, asking for better pay and benefits. This could be a huge shakeup in not only the economy, but also how workplaces are. I mean, this strike like this has not really happened, I think, ever. So they've got some big demands. They've got a lot of negotiations that are going on because we know that the industry is changing. We're seeing a lot more electric cars. Actually, I was just reading a study that 2/3 of all car sales around the world could be electric vehicles by the year 2030. So that's not too far off. We're 7 years away from that. 2/3 of all cars. Now, a lot needs to change, of course, as far as some infrastructure in order to be able to do that. But for those of you that have electric cars, feel free to chime in. How much has having an electric car kind of shifted how you go about your regular day, but also when you're planning a road trip? Because I know when my brother is doing a road trip, he has to, strategically plan where he's going, where he's stopping. I mean, everybody does that when you're traveling, even with a gas-powered car. But how does that kind of change the way you plan and coordinate your trip? feel free to chime in. By the way, Ken is not on the show today. He is out for the next couple of days. Speaking of traveling, he took a road trip, a work road trip over to the Wisconsin Dells. So he'll be over there for the next couple of days. Jocelyn has been on the show, and you've seen her on the live stream. We'll get her back on a little bit later on. But I'd love to hear from you about the electric car stuff because that's a game changer with the future. They keep saying they want to have more electric cars on the road, and I'm seeing a lot more. They said the biggest reason for the optimism is falling battery prices as technology continues to improve. The price of EV batteries will continue to drop. So hopefully that makes the price continue to drop for EVs because that's one thing. Those electric vehicles can be a little bit pricey. Now, from what I know from most people that do have electric cars, is it the value usually stays pretty good. You know, it holds its value, but also sometimes increases in value because of the high demand. So feel free if you have an electric car. I'd love to hear from you because I don't get to have a chance to talk to a lot of people with electric cars. Usually, it's my brother or a couple other people that I know. They did say though, if this trend continues, like of having 2/3 of all car sales uh, be electric vehicles by 2030, they said if the trend continues, electric vehicles could be the same price as gas powered vehicles over in Europe in 2024 and in the US here in just a couple of years, 2026. Now, the goal is for EVs to be as cheap to buy as gas cars and then cheaper to run. And it looks like we're heading that way. So I guess we'll get there soon. I think one of the biggest things is availability of charging. That's one big thing. You see them around town every once in a while, but some of them are kind of hidden. Where a few of them haven't. Like we were in one town, and it was in the back behind a business, but you didn't know about it unless you saw it and you were behind the building. So the availability of chargers is one thing. And then the speed of charging. I know a lot of people are so used to when you need to fill up that your fill up time usually only a few minutes. If you got a big truck or big gas tank, maybe 5 to 10 if you've got an RV or something like that. But electric vehicles, the fast charging ones, those tend to take quite a while. You have to pretty much spend an hour or more trying to get that thing topped off or whatever you need to do. So I think that's one big thing. I think another thing that people are still a little bit of afraid of is just how different they are on the roads and inside the vehicles. They're kind of like spaceships. It's kind of cool, but I think they're just a little afraid because it's the unknown. It's kind of that era of electric vehicles could be pretty much like how the automobile first came about. Everybody was used to their horse and buggy, and then all of a sudden the automobile came around, and it's like, whoa, 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 what is this? Speaking of electric vehicles, did you know there was an electric vehicle company in the early 1900s right here in Southwest Michigan? I can't remember the name, but if anybody remembers that name of the electric vehicle company that existed in the early 1900s, you win fun and fabulous prizes. I don't know what those fun and fabulous prizes are yet, but you at least get a high five from me. So if you know what that is, feel free to reach out. You can email let's talk at WSJM.com or call 925 WSJM or feel free to comment on this video if you know the electric car company that used to exist here in Southwest Michigan. All right, we'll get back to the show here in just a moment. I got to take a quick coffee break, and then I'll be right back here on the stream, and Jocelyn will be joining as well. But let's take a listen to Tech Trends with ABC News.
All the minerals go into batteries. We're trying to figure out what products to build and figuring out where to build those products.
Both
You can watch our live stream. We are on our Facebook and YouTube and X if you want to watch and see what we look like. As Ken is out of the show, at least for the next couple of days. He's out of town. So we have Jocelyn joining us. Hello.
Good morning.
Once again, she's got her, I made coffee, so she's good to go.
A second pot
Of coffee, because usually you don't wake up as early as I do. You still wake up decently early because Plinko usually has to go to the bathroom or something like that. And then you got work to do and all that. But you don't start your day until a little bit later.
Yeah, 7:38.
You start your day like a normal person.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a morning show person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we were talking about this just a little while ago about especially when Saturdays and Sundays in the fall come around, I'm usually pretty busy on the weekends.
Super busy.
Not like working or doing anything really important. I'm watching sports ball.
Yes, completely out of the realm that I'm in.
And it's hard I can't have conversations about sports with Ken because he's not a sports ball fan.
Mm-hmm.
We try to fake it a little bit and sneak in some conversation. And then I usually, have to talk to people like Brett Wachowski. He'll chime in when we do our football preview. So we'll talk a little Michigan football and stuff like that.
Did you notice that? Mm-hmm. As soon as you said sports ball, it just comes out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you were an athlete when you were in high school.
I didn't play football.
You didn't play football. You're right. But it's hard to have these conversations. And I do it every once in a while, and I sometimes catch myself. I start talking about, hey, did you see this play? Or, oh my gosh, did you see that? You got to check this out. Oh, and you really don't care.
It's not that I don't care. It's that I don't understand the words you're saying. I don't football. I marching band. And you go so hard, like you get so into it so fast. You're just like, you walk into the room like, so did you see that play? And I'm like, oh no, I did not.
Yeah, like I'll rewind it and say, oh man, you gotta watch that replay's about to come up. Check this out.
I don't know what's happening. No, I don't. Yeah. So I frequently say, hey, you should call your brother.
You the other day actually texted our sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And basically
I said, hey, happy sports ball season. Don't forget, if you need Jeremiah to talk to somebody, please tell him to call Johnny. And she said, yeah, that's we're doing that right now, actually. And I said, well, Johnny's asleep, snoring in the chair, and sports ball's on TV.
Yeah, and that happened the other day too. One of my other brothers called me, and he just started talking football. Everything from Michigan football to we've really been watching a lot of Colorado with Deion Sanders being the coach now. So that's been really fun to watch. Hey, I'm going to the Michigan football game this weekend, which I'm really excited about.
I'm excited for you.
They're playing against Rutgers, so I get to go to the Big House, which I have actually never been to the Big House for a Michigan football game. I actually went there one time when I was in high school for it was Michigan Tech and Grand Valley. They were trying to break the record for Division II attendance record. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Super cool.
So I got to be there, but I get to be there for not only is it going to be Michigan's homecoming.
Okay, so it's going to be a big day.
It's going to be a big day, and it's also a big day because Jim Harbaugh, who has been suspended for the past 3 games, he is finally back, and he'll be coaching. So it is going to be a busy time, but I promise, because the University of Michigan has one of the most world-class marching bands, I'll make sure that I get a video for you.
Okay.
So I'll have that.
I mean, you could call me during the marching band.
So do I need to have like a code word or something like that? Or do you have to have something when I'm talking too much sports ball?
Yes, I normally just say, call Jeremiah.
I feel like we should come up with some more sort of other code word or thing.
I'll just start throwing out like plant names that you don't understand and book titles. So you can just be like, what? Oh, right. I'm talking about stuff she has no idea what I'm saying.
Right. Because you as a bookseller and a plant seller, and an avid reader as well. I don't read as much as I should. I do say I do read a lot of the internet because of the news.
You get
and
up
things
at
that
4
I read.
o'clock. You don't have time to read.
Right.
You're napping if you have a free minute.
And when I do want to, at night want to read a book, I don't get many pages in because then I'm tired and that'll make me fall asleep. Can't read in the car when we're going on a road trip and you're driving. It's difficult. So I don't know.
You get car sick.
But
you were reading out loud that one week. That was helpful.
Yeah. So I did a little bit of that. But as far as other readings, there's about 7 books in this house that I have started to read. I've gotten about 3 or 4 chapters in, and then I move on to the next book. As the dog is, where's
I lost
the dog?
I don't know.
We'll find the dog at some point. But what do you you guys do when you have your significant other, maybe that either talks about a topic, whether it be sports or something that you have no idea what they're talking about? Do you have code words or things that you do, or do you just do like what you're doing and just
It's just to let you know that I'm listening and I appreciate that you're really excited about something. I just have nothing to offer to the conversation. I mean, I know like some players' names. That's all.
and you do have some affinity to certain sports ball teams.
Yeah.
Chicago Cubs.
Yeah. I grew up as a Cubs fan and a
Bears
fan. I forgot about what animal they were.
And of course, we both grew up in the time of the Bulls.
Yeah.
And just about anybody.
I've been to a Bulls game.
Yeah.
I've been to Cubs games. I was a marching band kid, so I never got into football. I was playing my trumpet.
I will say the cool part is where we live in Niles is we are a very short distance away from the football field. So it is cool during the summertime and really even on Friday nights, if we don't go to a football game, we can still hear the marching band from our backyard. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. I can tell you every year we've lived here, I can tell you what week is band camp.
Yeah. And it's cool
like it.
because we hear that especially during the practices, they have that like the click thing. To keep the cadence to keep them on time, and you just hear this. Doop, doop, doop,
oh yeah,
doop.
You're like, what is that? I was like, oh, it's marching band.
It's the marching band. Duh. Well, I'll just start going.
That's
when
fine.
the marching band's playing. One last thing I wanted to mention to you, and we were talking about this the other day about it's officially kind of become pants season.
Okay. I like pants.
Yeah, I don't. I'm more of a shorts fan. I like wearing shorts. But jorts are now making a comeback.
For men?
I guess. They're back in style. Not just like cut off jorts.
I just pictured Daisy Dukes on a bunch of men with like the bottom of the pockets hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
You have some of those?
I need to make some of
I'll
those.
get you some of those.
I need to make some of those. No, they said Gen Z's obsessed with them, and they're not talking the long baggy jean shorts that your dad would buy and wear, but short, tight cutoffs or Daisy Dukes never went out of fashion. But now the 90s style longer ones that go past your knee, those are trendy, especially for women. So I know
you need Jinkos and a wallet chain. And then
man,
the pipe pants.
Oh, I miss those.
Just as shorts. Okay, wait. So past the knee for women. Yeah, Bermuda shorts.
Yeah, I guess they'd be more of the 90s style Bermuda shorts. A little more baggy. Because the Bermuda shorts, those are
beauty shorts. Like, okay. I mean, I don't think I ever wore past the knee jorts.
Yeah. So those are coming
Gen
back.
Z, what a mess.
They have really, when we go to the store, we were just at the store the other day looking at, just because they have the little like mannequins or they have like the setup outfits. It looks like everything from the 90s. And also they have this like weird, would you call it Little House on the Prairie or
churning butter? wardrobe.
Yeah, like almost like Amish.
It's less Amish this year. Last year was really bad. But
Why-
this year was more like I wore that in 6th grade. I wore that in 6th grade. I wore that in
Yeah.
6th grade. I mean, does that happen? I mean, I'm not that old.
I think that 90s grunge style is starting to come back where it's like it really doesn't match. It kind of clashes a lot, but it's making a comeback.
T-shirts under sundresses and bucket hats. It's
But
mass hysteria.
I don't understand the very like Little House on the Prairie type outfits. I mean, it's like
You don't have
basically
to.
everything but the bonnet.
Maybe the bonnet.
Maybe the bonnet. Is the bonnet going to make a comeback?
I don't know. I'm not really fashionable.
I'm just I'm surprised to see this fashion coming back because I mean, especially jorts. I mean, I never wore jorts, but
Good.
maybe I want to now. Maybe I should.
You're allowed now. Gen Z allows it.
All right. Well, jorts are making a comeback, and I'm going to have to go purchase some so I can enjoy my pumpkin spice latte and my jorts.
It sounds like a great weekend.
It does. What are some fashion trends that you just don't get? Love to hear from you. You can feel free to reach out. 925 WSJM. Email let's talk at WSJM.com. We'll have your Moody on the Market update coming up next. And thanks to everybody for watching our live stream. We're gonna head out, but thank you, Jocelyn, for spending some time. You gonna come back?
Piece.
Will you come back tomorrow?
I will think about it
because Ken is out. That is why Jocelyn's on the show. We need to have you come on more often.
Okay.
And sneak you in every once in a while and have you on the show. I'd love to have you talk about all kinds of different stuff. But yeah, Ken's out of town, so Jocelyn will be back on the show tomorrow, and we'll do some more live streaming. But thank you so much for everybody for joining us. We'll talk to you again soon.